Everyone, Christopher Ludwig here, editor-in-chief at Automotive Logistics, and we're going to take a little backward step in time to Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Global Live, which took place just a few weeks ago earlier in Detroit. And for those of you lucky enough to be there, you know that on the ground we had a number of workshops and ideas labs where we delved into topics into quite depth with industry leaders and experts to come up with some solutions that we can work forward to. And what we want to do is bring our experts together here to talk about some of the key topics and next steps so that we can share that with our wider audience. And so for that, I'm really pleased to welcome and introduce Dennis Manns, Executive Leader at North Motors Group, and a face and voice that many of you know in the Finnish vehicle logistics industry. Welcome, Dennis.
Hey, Chris, how are you? Good morning.
Yeah, very good. Great to have you here, to have seen you in Detroit, and we'll talk about it after, but also to be planning to see you in a couple of weeks as well. But first, let's go back to Detroit. Let's go back to the Ideas Lab. You hosted a lab on Finnish vehicle logistics, raising the quality. So talking about damage repair and improving quality in Finnish vehicle logistics. Well, can you set the scene for us a little bit? Tell me a little bit about the central theme and the key things you were discussing in that lab.
Yeah, no, it's as you mentioned, we're talking about quality and damages, which are two parts of our industry I've always been really focused on, and I think for those of us in the industry, they're a critical part of what all of us do on a daily basis. So that was the basic theme of the lab that we presented that day.
And tell us a little bit about what kind of companies were there, who took part in this. We deliberately try to keep these workshops and labs, pretty small and intimate, but give us a little flavor.
Well, I'll tell you, we actually had excellent participation. We had a number of the new EV startups join us, which was a little bit new for doing one of these. Plus, we had a number of the different other OEMs from the area, the Detroit 3 and such. We had a number of system providers, which turned out to be a great addition to our discussion. And then probably the final group was we had a number of service providers, the providers who are providing labor within the automotive space to the OEM customers. So those were kind of three groups that were involved in the discussion. So
great. So now we know the themes, the demographics. In just a couple of bullet points, what would you kind of highlight as the real major discussion points, any particular challenges that the group wanted to cover?
Right. Yeah. I think across the board, everyone agreed that, quality and damages continue to be closely monitored by everybody in the industry. As I said earlier, it's such an important part of what we do to get the finished product to the final customer, the dealer, and then the retail customer in the best shape possible. So it was good to hear input from all these different groups about, what they're doing, what their concerns are, and really, how their measurables are to drive their daily business to make sure we continue to get great quality to the retail dealer.
And one thing that I would just love to hear about, were there any areas that the group weren't so aligned on, any points of differences, agreement, disagreement?
Not really. They probably the one common theme across the board with everybody is, you can't manage what you can't measure. And I think that's where the system providers came in is, the business that we are all in, there's so many moving pieces to it. I mean, it's almost like icebergs in the ocean, if you will, because they're constantly in motion. And, you have to have great systems to feed you that data to help you make better decisions. And so whether it's the OEM customer, the service provider, the systems provider, everybody was pretty much in alignment of the need to have great data to start your day, to start your discussion, and then take it throughout the network design for the OEM customers. So we were pretty much in alignment, frankly, of the hows and the whys and the whats to make improvement along the network.
So as everyone pretty much understands what we have to do next, or sorry, where we want to get to, but what do we have to do next to get there? What were some of the key solutions or next steps that we identified?
Well, I think regardless of where you are in whatever slice of the network that you're in, I think the thing that came out of this is it's so important to stay connected. You have to look upstream, you have to look downstream. It's not just, you're not in your bubble operating, because as you know, every piece of this business is so connected. And I mean, actually, that's why I think the global conference and the Finnish Vehicle Logistic Conference, that's one of the things when you attend these things, you quickly learn, you have your respective piece of our industry, but you're dependent upon the success of the person upstream and downstream to end up with a success story for the OEM customer. So, and that was the exciting part about global. We were back together again, face to face, where we could, have those in-person discussions. And sometimes people change within an organization, and it's always great though to get in, whether it's a lab room like we were in, or whether main stage, which, you conducted a number of those. It's great to get connected with those people that you're doing business with. So that was it. For me, that was exciting. And I think a number of people made the same comments.
Yeah, and I think on the upstream, downstream relevance there, not least in this time for Finnish vehicle logistics, when, as we know, inventories are depleted, we can't really even meet demand, and so a damaged vehicle is another lost sale right off the bat. So anything that goes wrong there is super critical at this point.
It's more important today than ever before. I mean, it's whether you're a large OEM provider or a smaller one. The numbers change obviously, but you quickly realize how important each unit is to that customer, because on the retail side, dealer inventory is at critically low levels, and so it's more important than ever to have great quality, damage-free products going to the dealer to help them achieve their stated goals.
Yeah, and you've alluded to it, Dennis, but before we let you go, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's coming in a couple of weeks. Another chance to connect face to face. Finnish Vehicle Logistics Conference, November 9th to 11th in Newport Beach. You are going to be another session host. I believe the session is connecting the dots. We're going to talk about mobility and telematics. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why that session would be important?
Well, I'm not a systems person, but I'm a systems guy. And again, these businesses are so complex that you have to have great systems to keep everything moving forward and keep everything in its lane. And that's probably one unified topic. Everybody wants better and better systems. And we all have a smartphone on our hip or on our pocket or what have you, and everybody wants instant information from what's happening in their network, and so that connectivity thing is just so mission critical. And I always say we're getting better together, and so as an organization, as an industry, again, whatever part of the industry you're in, it has to be the unified group getting better together to continue to advance our business. But I love talking systems, because it's amazing what some of these systems providers are offering to the OEM customers and to the suppliers to expand that visibility, to help them go deeper and deeper into their planning, and just to do a better job across the board.
Great. Well, we're really looking forward to hearing more about that. That'll be a fantastic panel session that we'll see in California. We've got a whole lot more going on there as well, covering many of the critical issues Dennis referred to earlier in terms of those inventory levels and how we can speed up the supply chain, be more efficient. So that's something to look forward to. Thanks again, Dennis, for now and for hosting the Ideas Lab at Automotive Logistics and Supply Chain Global. Really fantastic to get these insights, and we're looking forward to sharing more really soon.
Hey, looking forward to it. Finnish Vehicle is always a great event. We always get a great turnout. Global is awesome. And, California, that time of the year is always good. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.